Hello everybody, thank you for following me on my astrology journey. For those of you that have been watching these videos, I am going to talk to you today about you and your planets, and the planets. So here we go. Very interesting picture. So again, if you're new to watching these videos, I am referring to the information in this book. It's been really good. It's quite a big book. You don't need to read every single section, which is I quite like that, because I'm not a massive reader, because it goes through each of the different star signs, and obviously they're not all going to be relevant to you. So it's quite good in that way. If you're not a big reader, then you don't need to worry. So I'm going to tell you what I've learned. I've highlighted loads of bits as usual in basically the influence of the planets in our sun sign. We've just had the Sturgeon moon. I put all my crystals out to get them all cleansed yesterday. So we've got the solar system, which is the sun, the earth, the moon, and 8 planets that revolve around the sun in a specific order and pattern. So the pattern marks the days, the seasons, the years, and our lives. Each of those, so the earth, the earth, the moon, etc., they all move at different speeds and rates, and they're in separate paths or orbits. So the combination of the placement of the planets is almost endless. So I'm guessing, where the sun is, the earth, and then Mars and Jupiter and Pluto, and they're all moving at different paces. They're all moving around and around at different rates, different speeds. So yeah, the combination of them all being in the same arrangement is probably very unlikely. So that sort of taps into the next bit. The arrangement of the planets, the sun and the moon, at your birth won't be repeated for 4,320,000 years. No one else is going to walk this planet with your exact horoscope. I find that fascinating. Don't you find that fascinating? That's crazy. Hence the importance of getting your birth chart done, which I did using, hang on a minute. This was another book that I read by Chani Nicholas, and you can get your birth chart done like I have. And I've just written all sorts of nonsense at the bottom, but it tells you, it's got a little thing here for a guide for all the different planet symbols and where they were, and these numbers here are all the different houses, and then you've obviously got all the star signs around there, and then all of the different star signs that are in here, which would have been in place at your birth. So I'd really recommend getting that one done on Chani Nicholas's website. You can get it done for free, because that is what's going to give you the most accurate information about your specific sun sign, star sign. So people born, I found this really interesting. People born at the same time are known as astral twins or time twins. I found this so interesting. So apparently there's been lots of research happening around astral and time twins. But yeah, you can't, it's really rare that somebody else is going to be born at exactly the same time as you. The life patterns are apparently eerily similar. They can have the same number, these people obviously live separate lives, all the rest of it, but they can have the same number of kids, the same sex of their children. They marry at the same time, they change homes, they divorce, they change jobs, all at the same time. And some of them, in some cases, they all die at the same time as well. I find that absolutely crazy. And it says, time twins are very rare. The likelihood, the pattern of the sun, moon, and the planets in your horoscope are duplicated is just, very obviously uncommon. Each planet has got a specific influence in astrology and governs a certain area of your personality or your approach to life. So that's really interesting. So I'll read that again. Each of the planets has got a specific influence in your astrology and it governs a certain area of your personality or how you approach life. So that is how the planets affect us, and how no one's going to have the same arrangement as us, which is really interesting. And then again, it goes into all the different planets, and my Mercury was in Gemini, so that's why I've highlighted it. And it goes through looking at each. I'm not going to do a video on each one because I think that would take forever, but this is the look at Mercury, and then it says whether your Mercury is in whichever sun sign. See? And then it goes through Venus. Actually, maybe I will do a separate video because it might be useful. So this one is Mercury, which my birth chart says that my Mercury is in Gemini. So if you have Mercury in Gemini, it's hard to pin you down. You have a quicksilver duality to your mind. You tend to change opinions quickly based on the latest news that you're listening to. You often hold down more than one job or work on a number of projects. That's true. Extremely quick, versatile, interested in the world at large. You live mostly on a mental plane. You must have facts and information. What you know is to know. You're good at languages and math and love to read. That's definitely not me. So yeah, some of it isn't gonna maybe be applicable, but yeah, so very interesting indeed. As I say, the more I read, the more I'm learning, obviously, and giving me much more information about how complex it is. So this says, it's been said that Mercury makes life understandable, for it is the planet of intelligence. So that's the influence of Mercury. This is what it's all talking about here. It's been associated with speed and agility. And here we go. Mercury is the planet of mental activities, communication and intellectual energy. And it rules over intelligence, perception and reason, memory, speaking and writing. So there we go. Clear as mud. I think you know, we read this, it makes sense at the time, but until you've kind of started working with it and really understanding how this is going to influence your life and how it's going to influence your nature in isolation, I think it's quite difficult to sort of put it in context. Yeah. So next time I will probably do a little bit on Venus, in how Venus affects us, and whether mine is in Leo, and again, that is all the information that's come from doing this birth chart, so you see this little sign here, that's the sign for Venus, and you can see over here that's in Leo, hence why I've highlighted Venus in Leo. So that's where Venus was when I was born. So I was born in on the 2nd of July, and so I'm a Cancer, and my Venus was, at that time, Venus was in Leo. So I think having this little chart's quite handy, because then you can see where they were all when you were born. So it's really good. And especially if you're a visual person, I think it's really useful. Anyway, hopefully that has been clear as mud.